And we're going to begin lying down, you'll be very pleased to hear. So bring yourself to lie down on your backs, knees bent, feet flat to the floor. You can rest your hands wherever is comfortable, perhaps let the knees fall in against each other so that you're not using really anything to support yourself. Settle your shoulders so that they're grounded down into the mat. Tucking the chin slightly. And when you're ready, gently closing the eyes, or maybe just lowering the gaze if that feels better for you this morning. And we're going to begin by taking a few deep breaths in through the nose. What's that alarm? Is it me? Oh, everything seems to be still working, sorry about that. So breathing deeply in through the nose and exhaling slowly and steadily through the mouth. Inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. We'll do one more of those, let all the bits of tension that you might be carrying ease out with that exhale. So breathing in deeply through the nose, letting everything go with the exhale through the mouth. And then closing the mouth and gently returning to your natural breath. And just bringing your awareness to the parts of the body now that are in contact with the mat. Feeling the soles of the feet in contact with the earth, grounding down, rooting down. Feeling the back of the hips, the middle of the back and the shoulders. Maybe just pulling those shoulders away from the ears a little bit further. Feeling the backs of the arms, maybe the backs of the hands, depending on where you're resting your hands this morning. Feeling the back of the head, all in contact with the mat, all supported, safe. And then bringing your awareness to the breath. Just observing the inhale and the exhale. Feeling the belly rise and fall. Using the breath as an anchor for your attention. In this morning's class, it's all about going inwards, turning the focus inside ourselves, tuning out anything that might be going on outside ourselves. I'm going to work on quite a few forward bends to help us to do that. So when you're ready, just releasing the focus on the breath. Gently opening the eyes. And then grabbing a hold of your belt. We're going to bring the right knee in. We're going to wrap the belt around the sole of the right foot. We've done this before. We've got one end of the belt in each hand, and then we're going to gently bring that leg towards straight. Keeping that belt nice and taut. And if your leg is further down here so you can get it straight, that's absolutely fine. Just be kind to your hamstrings this morning. Be kind to the backs of your legs. I've practiced this morning and already pulled myself, so I need to listen to my own words sometimes. So you might find I'm taking it a bit easier on one side than the other this morning through every fault of my own. So just easing that leg towards straight, keeping a slight bend in it if you need to. Maybe just lengthening the straps away from you. The sole of the foot putting up towards the ceiling. And if it feels okay, we can slide the left heel away from us so that the left leg is straight line out along the mat. Just feeling that increasing stretch down the back of the right leg. So with the forward folds, We're working on the posterior chain, lengthening the posterior chain. Getting into that lower back, into the hamstrings, into the calves. When you're ready, we're going to bring both ends of the belt into the right hand. We're going to rest the left hand on the left hip to keep it grounded down into the mat. Keep the shoulders grounded down into the mat. Take a nice breath in. As you exhale, we're going to allow that right foot to fall out towards the right hand side, moving towards the floor. Bring the right elbow down, lengthen that belt so that you can bring the right elbow down. Don't try and go too far like I have done this morning. We're opening that hip to the right hand side. Let the arm do plenty of work here. Not trying to support it with the leg muscles, the leg is just opening gently. And then inhaling, you might need to bend the knee a little bit to bring that leg back up to the centre. And we're going to swap the hands over so both sides of the belt are in the left hand now. Bringing the right hand out to the side, wherever is comfortable for you. We're just going to sweep that leg just over to the left hand side, maybe 6-8 inches, something like that, so it's hovering above your left hip bone. Not trying to go too far, just till we feel a little stretch down the outside of that right hip. And then inhaling, coming back to centre. Let's bend that right knee. Release the right foot down to the mat. And we're going to bring the left knee into the chest. Bring the belt around the sole of the left foot. Again, settle your shoulders down into the mat. And when you're ready, ease that leg up towards straight. Doesn't have to be straight. Doesn't matter how long that belt is. We're not worried about trying to reach the foot this morning. Gently easing into this. With every exhale, just asking the leg to give us a little bit more space. And if that feels okay, we're going to slide that right heel away from us so the right leg is straight out along the mat. But keep it bent if that feels better for you this morning. Listen to what your body's telling you. Inhaling and exhaling into the back of that leg. And then we're going to bring both ends of the belt into the left hand. Bring the right hand down onto the right hip to keep it grounded. Roll the shoulders back and down into the mat, keep them steady. And then on your next exhale, allowing that left leg to fall open to the left hand side. Bring the left elbow down first, lengthen the belt, so you can allow that left hip to open. Try and relax the leg if you can, let the weight of the arm, let the weight of the leg be supported by the arm and the hand. Then inhaling, bending that knee slightly to bring it back to centre. Let's swap the belt over into the right hand now. Rest the left hand wherever you feel comfortable and sweeping the left foot so it's hovering above the right hip bone. Just feeling some stretched into that left hip. Inhale and bring it back to centre. Release the leg, release the foot. You can put that belt to one side. We probably won't need it for a little while now. And we're going to bring both feet flat to the floor again with the knees bent. Hands rest wherever is comfortable. We're just going to windscreen wiper those feet from one side, those knees from one side to the other. At your own pace. Doesn't have to be timed with the breath just for now. We just want to ease into those hips a little bit, into the knees. It's time to oil those joints a little bit. When you're ready, coming back to centre, we're going to pop the left ankle on top of the right knee, allowing the left knee to fall away from you. Let it rest there for a moment, and if that's enough, you can stay here. Otherwise, I'm going to take a breath in as we exhale. We're going to use the abdominal muscles to pull the legs in towards us. We're not using our hands yet, we're pulling the legs in towards us, and we're pulling the toes up towards the shin bones, really flexing the feet. Then we're going to reach the left hand through the hole that we've created. The right hand comes around. You might need to lift your shoulders up off the mat to do this. You can interlace the fingers behind the thigh, or maybe in front of the shin, if that feels comfortable for you. You can keep those shoulders lifting up. We're kind of crunching in now, bringing the head towards the feet. Then releasing the hands, releasing the feet down to the mat. Both feet flat on the mat. Let's just windscreen wiper those knees one more time, maybe a couple of times to each side. then coming back to centre, let's pop the right ankle now onto the left knee, allowing the right knee to fall open. Just resting there for a moment. Again, stay here if you want to. Otherwise, on your next exhale, bringing those legs in towards you. Really flex those feet, pull the toes up towards the shins. The legs are very, very active. We can bring the shoulders up now and reach the right hand through the hole that we've created, interlacing the fingers behind the thigh or the shin. Keep crunching the shoulders up, bringing the head towards the legs towards the head. Feeling almost everything working here. And then releasing the hands, releasing the feet. Bring both feet down onto the mat just for a moment. And then making sure that the shoulders are again grounded down onto the mat. Let's bring the knees in to the chest one at a time. I'm going to grab outside edges of the feet and pull the knees into the elbows, that'll be a good trick, into the armpits for happy baby, with the feet pointing up towards the ceiling, the soles of the feet pointing towards the ceiling. Really pull those knees in towards the armpits. Knees are wide, moving outwards. And if your tailbone has crept up off the mat like mine has, just make the move to flatten it back down. Might not make it all the way, but just make that move to lengthen the spine down onto the mat. And keep breathing. Feel that leg and body connection. And releasing the hands and feet. Feet coming down onto the mat. We're going to push down into the feet to lift the hips and shift them over to the left hand side so we can allow the knees to fall over to the right. For a gentle reclining twist like we normally do, let's bring the arms out nice and wide. Gaze can be to the ceiling or over the left shoulder, it's your choice. Keeping the shoulders grounding down, don't worry too much about whether the knees reach the floor. Then inhaling, bringing the knees back up to centre. Push down into those feet again to lift the hips and shift them over to the right hand side so we can allow the knees to fall over to the left. Adjust the shoulders if you need to. The gaze staying up towards the ceiling or over the right shoulder, it's your choice. Allowing the legs to relax, the abdomen to relax. Trying not to hold on to them. Trying to let gravity do the work for you. And then inhaling, bringing those legs back up to centre. We're going to cross the feet at the ankles, bring the knees in, and we're going to roll ourselves up to seated. Lovely, well done everybody. Okay, so we're just going to come into Sukhasana, easy pose. Legs are crossed. Spine is long, sitting bones are grounding down. Just get my hair out of the way so I can see what you're all doing. We're taking a breath in to lengthen the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down. And then as we exhale, hinging gently forwards. You might find that you can go a little bit more deeply than we normally do when we do this at the start of a class. And taking a little sway to the right hand side, the left hand side, backwards and forwards if it feels nice. And then inhaling, easing yourself up. Let's swap those legs over, let's cross them the awkward way. Again, making sure the spine is long as we inhale, and as we exhale, gently hinging forwards. Again, taking a little sway if you'd like to, or staying in the stillness if that feels better for you this morning. Inhaling, easing yourself back up. We're going to bring the legs wide now. Bringing the legs wide, keep pulling the toes up towards you. You can keep a slight bend of the knee if you need to, or just bring the legs in a little bit. I don't want you feeling anything more than a stretch in the back of those legs. Making sure that the sitting bones are grounded down. Inhaling to lengthen the spine and exhaling again, hinging forwards. Might be able to bring the elbows down. Might be able to bring your forehead down if you're feeling particularly flexible this morning. I think unless somebody sits on me, I won't be doing that. Inhaling, gently easing yourself back up, and I want you to turn your torso now so that it's as square as it can be with your right leg. I appreciate it won't go completely square, but turning towards that right foot. Then gently easing yourself forwards, we're keeping the spine long. We're going to bring the left hand to the outside of the right shin and sweep the right hand kind of around behind us, and then easing more deeply in. So we're twisting towards this right leg. Feeling that hopefully on the outside of the left lower back. Then inhaling, easing yourself up. Let's turn the torso towards the left leg, gazes towards the left toes. Starting to hinge forward as you exhale. We're going to bring the right hand to the outside of the lower left leg. Bringing the left hand as far behind you as feels comfortable. And then exhaling, easing in. Keep pulling those toes up towards you. Keep a bend of the knee if you need to. Perhaps noticing whether one side feels easier than the other. And then inhaling, easing yourself up. We're going to bring the hands underneath the knees to help us bring them in. Let's not strain them here. And we're going to bring the knees bent with the feet flat to the floor. We're going to come into Gomakasana, which we did briefly last week. We're just going to start by bringing the left heel towards the right sitting bone underneath us. And then we're going to bring the right leg over the top. So we've got the toes pointing out to both sides. So Gomakasana, also known as cow face pose. I'm not sure if you can see it. This is supposed to be the nose of the cow and these are the ears. You tell me. If you've still got your belt to hand, you may need it here, you may not need it. I'll turn around so you can see what we're doing. So we've got our Gomakasana legs already. We're going to bring the arms wide. We've got the right hand with the thumb pointing up. We're going to turn the left hand so that the thumb is pointing down, and we're going to sweep it around so that it comes into the centre of the back. Then we're going to bring the right hand over, hopefully to meet it, but if it doesn't meet it, we can either grab hold of our top or slightly more clumsy to get into sometimes, we can use the belt. So hopefully we've all got our arms, yes, fabulous, you all look great there. So inhale to lengthen the spine up, try and get the head sitting up nice and tall. Try not to let this arm bring it down and tucking the chin in, so head's nice and tall, looks great. And then as you exhale, hinging gently forwards. Might be able to get your chin over your knee, not this morning. Don't worry about that. Try and breathe into wherever you're feeling it. Outside edge of the right hip for me. And inhaling, easing yourself up. Release the arms, release the legs. Give them a nice little shake off, perhaps bang the back of the knees on the mat. And then making sure that sitting bone, we're grounding down. With any junk in the trunk out the way that you might need to, pull those toes up towards you. We're sitting up nice and tall. And as we inhale, we're reaching the arms up above us. And exhaling, we're hinging forwards for Paschimottanasana. Make sure that you're keeping the spine nice and long. The hands will reach wherever they reach. Lower legs, toes, floor, wherever is comfortable for you. Just make sure you're keeping that length in the spine. And taking a breath in, just coming up slightly, re-lengthen the spine and exhaling, maybe folding a little bit more deeply in. Just playing with the edge of that pose. Being mindful of the backs of the knees. And inhaling, lifting the gaze, easing yourself gently up. Let's bend the knees, feet flat to the floor again. We've got Gomakasana on the other side. So let's bring the right heel in towards the left sitting bone. We're bringing the left leg over. Again, adjust it. Your Gomakasana, your legs might be out here. That's absolutely fine. As long as we're making that move with those hips, that's fabulous. So we've got our nice Gomakasana ears. We're going to bring the arms wide. The right thumb turns down this time. We're going to wrap that arm around, up the middle of the back, and then we're going to reach the left one over. See where you get to, whether you want to grab your top, a belt. It is clumsier with the belt, I appreciate. So we've got left arm on top, that's fabulous. Excellent. Make sure that the head is nice and tall in line with the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, gently hinging forwards. Keeping the length in the spine. You were sick of hearing me say that this morning with all these forward bends. And then inhaling, gently easing yourself up. Release the arms, release the legs. Again, give them a nice wobble. Do whatever feels nice for those legs. We'll do one more Paschimottanasana. So bringing the legs straight, toes are pulling up towards us as though you've got something under your belt pulling on them. Take a breath in, reach the arms all the way up. And exhaling, hinging forward, really lengthening the spine and only allowing the head to drop when you're at your maximum that feels comfortable for you this morning. Maybe gently closing the eyes, turn the focus inward again. And releasing the hands, releasing the gaze, easing yourself up, and we're just going to come over onto our hands and knees. You see how far I've put my water bottle away from me this morning, so I can't knock it over today. In theory. So the hands are directly under the shoulders, or maybe a tiny bit further forward if that feels better for you this morning. Knees are directly under the hips. And we're just going to take some side bends here this morning. So we're going to bring the hips round to the right. We're going to take the gaze over the right shoulder as though we're trying to look at our tailbone on the right hand side. Then inhaling, coming back to centre. Let's sweep the hips round to the left, taking the gaze over the left shoulder as though you're trying to look at your tailbone on the left hand side. Inhaling back to centre, exhaling, let's curl around one more time to the right. Lovely, then inhaling back to centre, exhaling round to the left. Coming back to a neutral position, we're going to tuck the toes under and we're going to lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Keep the knees slightly bent. First of all, really flatten the hands down into the mat, pushing the mat away. Melt the chest through. Keep a slight bend of the elbows. Ears are roughly in line with the biceps. And once you're happy with that, you're pulling your belly in. Sitting bones floating up to the sky. Let's walk the heels up and down gently. Back of the legs should already start to feel quite nice after what we've done this morning. So when you're ready, go ahead. If it feels nice, settle both heels towards the mat. Let's just take a couple of breaths here in downward facing dog. And then inhaling, lowering the knees towards the mat. Exhaling, let's just take a couple of breaths in child's pose. You can bring the hands behind if that feels nice. The palms facing up. Feeling the shoulders open across the back. Maybe giving the wrists a little wiggle while you're there. Then we're going to reach the arms back out in front. Really reach the fingertips away from us. Coming back up onto the hands and knees. Tucking the toes under for one more downward facing dog here. And then we're going to tiptoe all the way to the top of the mat into a forward fold with the knees slightly bent. And once you're there, making sure the feet are hip distance apart, let's lengthen the spine up a little bit and then exhaling, fold more deeply and bend the knees more deeply. So you've really got a connection between the legs and the body. Looks a bit funny, but should feel quite good. And then rolling yourself up, nice and slow, keeping the hips over the knees, knees over the ankles. Rolling the spine up all the way to the top and rolling the shoulders back and down. Excellent. Just going to do our sun salutations. Let's get a couple in, get us warmed up a little bit. So bringing yourself to the top of the mat, feet at hip distance. Spreading the toes out, pulling the kneecaps up, engaging those thighs, tucking the tailbone under, rolling the shoulders back and down. Jaw is parallel to the floor, we're standing up nice and tall into that in a mountain pose, feeling how stable we are, how strong we are. Then inhaling, sweeping the arms all the way up, gaze to the thumbs. Exhaling, swan diving forward, slight bend in the knees as we get to the bottom. Inhale, lift and lengthen, halfway flat back. Exhaling, refold, bend those knees to bring the fingertips down. Let's step the right leg all the way back. Bringing the right knee down, flatten that right foot. Inhale, let's sweep the arms all the way up straight away this morning. And exhaling, bringing the hands down, stepping back into plank. Good. Holding here just for a couple of breaths. And lowering the knees on the inhale. As you exhale, keep those elbows tucked in. Lowering the chin and chest towards the floor, coming all the way down. Let's bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Palms are flattened to the floor. We're in Sphinx pose this morning. Gaze is between the thumbs. We're relaxing the buttocks, the legs. Not lots of back bends in today, so let's enjoy this one while we're here. And then bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under for downward facing dog. Settle yourself here, reconnect to the breath. And we're going to inhale the right leg all the way up behind us. Exhaling, coming high on those left toes, tuck the right knee all the way into the chest before we step it through between the hands. Dropping the left knee down to the mat and flattening the left foot. Good, inhaling, reach the arms all the way up, slight back bend if it feels okay. Exhaling, the hands come down, tucking the left toes under and step into the top of the mat for Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, refold. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the top. Exhale, we're swan diving forward straight into our second side. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, refold. Let's step that left foot all the way back, really big stride. Excellent. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up. And exhaling, we're bending the elbows back and down for those cactus arms. Good. Inhale, bringing the elbows together. Exhale, bringing them apart. Inhaling them together. Exhaling them apart. Then we're going to bring the hands down. We're stepping the right foot back to join the left in plank. Good. Lower the knees, chin and chest towards the mat. We're coming through into cobra, but let's try and use the back muscles more than we're using the arms. Glutes are engaged, tops of the feet pressed down into the mat. Elbows are tucked in. And then lifting the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Let's inhale that left leg all the way up behind us. Coming high on the right toes, let's tuck the left knee all the way into the chest before we step it through and drop the right knee down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale into cactus arms, elbows back and down. Really move them back and down. Inhaling, bringing the elbows together, palms together. Exhaling them apart. Inhale, bringing them together. Exhaling them apart. Then we're going to bring the hands down, tuck the right toes under. We're stepping into the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, refold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the top. Exhale, the hands are in prayer at the heart. Good, well done. Okay, we've got some little twisty, forward bendy type sequences coming up. So, from the top of the mat, with the hands in prayer, rolling the shoulders back and down. Let's take a big step back with the right foot. And then we're going to turn the toes so they're pointing towards the long edge of the mat. I'm playing it inward slightly, pigeon-toed. I've got it right this time. Good. Roll the shoulders back and down, standing up nice and tall. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're hinging forwards. We're just coming halfway, so to that flat back place. Keeping those toes pointing inwards. Keep a slight bend of the knee if you need to. Let's release the hands down to the floor. So the crown of the head is still moving forwards, not downwards just yet. Take a breath in, come up on the fingertips and lengthen the spine even further. Good. And exhaling, folding deeply in. We're going to walk the hands back now. So the palms of the hands are on the floor, walking the hands back. So the heel of the hand is in line with the heel of the foot. And then try and make sure, I don't know if you can see, try and make sure that your forearms are staying perpendicular to the floor. You're not letting your elbows wander out, the elbows are still directly over the wrists. Holding quite deeply in here, letting the crown of the head move towards the mat. Then inhaling, walk the hands back out in front of you so you can straighten the arms, coming back up to that halfway position. We're going to bring the left hand in front of the face, making sure now that we're rooting the feet down, the legs are firm. We're not going to allow the hips to move when we do this twist now. So take a breath in as you exhale. Let's bring the right arm up behind us, reaching towards the sky, but lock those legs in place. Don't let the hips tilt. Might restrict how far you can go, but that's okay. Inhale and bringing that right hand down in front of the face. Again, really lock those legs in place, really firm them, using the toes to grab the mat. Take a breath in as you exhale, bringing the left fingertips all the way towards the sky for that twist. Try not to let the hips move, keeping the legs really firm. Inhaling, bringing those left fingertips down. Now we're going to turn the toes on the left foot so they're pointing to the short edge of the mat. Right toes are still turning in. And we're going to sweep the body round so the hands are at the inside of that left leg. Keeping that left leg straight if we can. We're going to come straight up from here into triangle. So take a breath in, firm the feet, and as you exhale, reaching the right arm up. Good, it's much more difficult to come into it from here. Gaze can be to the top and or to the floor if that's better for your neck this morning. Well done. Then we're going to wrap the right hand round behind us. We're going to bend the left knee deeply, bringing the left fingertips to the outside of the left foot. Excellent. Then if it feels okay, we're going to sweep the right arm up and over for side angle pose. Lovely, well done. Excellent. Sweep that right hand down on the outside of that foot, turning the toes. Let's unwind ourselves to downward facing dog just for a moment. Let's walk those heels up and down. Then we're going to inhale the left leg all the way up behind us. Exhaling, we're stepping up back to the top of the mat. So we're coming back to where we are, but we're going to sweep ourselves back round to that wide leg forward fold. Excellent, roll there. Toes are pointing inwards to protect the knees. Inhaling, we're lengthening that spine forwards. As we exhale, we're going to sweep both hands towards the right foot, the right lower leg, and bend deeply into it. Bring the head towards the knee. Keep a slight bend of that knee if you need to. Feeling that twist from the outside of the left hip and lower back. Inhaling back to centre, exhaling, sweeping the hands towards the left foot, left lower leg. Head comes towards the left knee. Inhaling back to centre, we're going to do that once more on each side, so the hands come towards the right leg this time as we exhale. Inhaling back to centre, exhaling, sweeping the hands over to the left hand side. Inhaling back to centre. So we're turning the right toes this time. This might turn you away from looking at the camera, but you've done it on the other side, you know what you're doing. So the right toes are pointing towards the short edge of the mat, the left toes are at 45 degrees. We're going to sweep the hands around so they're on the inside of that right leg. We're going to bring the right leg towards straight, keeping the right hand near the right foot or the right shin, opening the chest, reaching the arms up for a triangle pose on this side. Good, well done everyone, that looks great. Nice. Keep those hips pushing forwards, don't let that right buttock creep out too far. Well done, let's wrap that left arm round behind us. Bending the right knee deeply so we can bring the right hand on the outside of the right foot. And if it feels good, let's sweep that left arm over by the left ear for side angle pose. Fabulous. Bringing both hands down, step back to downward facing dog. And we're going to lower the knees and come into child's pose just for a breath or two. Spin yourself back around so you point the right way if you've gone the wrong way like me. Just taking a moment in child's pose. Thank the back of the legs for what they've done for you so far. Ask them if they've got a little bit more for what's to come. So inhaling, coming up onto your hands and knees. Let's tuck the toes under for downward facing dog. We're going to inhale the right leg up behind us, and as we exhale we're stepping it up the mat, but we're not stepping it all the way up the mat, maybe about halfway with the toes pointing forwards. Then we're going to turn the heel in on the left foot and bring yourself up to standing from there. Let's come into it from the top. So we're in a very short warrior stance. Right toes pointing forwards, left toes at 45 degrees. Good. Square the hips with that front leg, making sure that they're pointing towards the short edge of the mat. From here, we're either going to grasp opposite elbows behind us, I'm just turning the hips to show you, or we can bring the hands into reverse prayer if the wrists and the elbows will allow us to do it. But this is absolutely fine. So whatever feels comfortable for you, reverse prayer, grasping the elbows, take a breath in, roll the shoulders back and down, and keeping both legs straight as we exhale, we're hinging forwards. For Parsvottanasana. Keep the elbows lifted up, and we're thinking chin to shin rather than knee to nose. It's a strong pose. Then releasing the hands down towards the mat, keep yourself where you are. Bring the left hand to the inside of the right foot, and we're opening the chest to the right hand side. Right hand up towards the sky for revolved triangle, just as we did last week. Gaze to the right hand or the floor, whatever's comfortable for your neck, it really doesn't matter. Then releasing the right hand back down towards the mat. Let's step both feet together. Doesn't matter if you're at the top of the mat or halfway, just come into a forward fold, fingertips to the mat. And taking a breath in, we're going to lift the right leg up behind us and bend the torso towards the left leg. So we'll come into standing splits. Might not look anything like the splits, but just keep pointing those right toes as high as you can towards the sky. And then replacing the right foot next to the left. Bending the knees quite deeply. We're going to bring the forefinger and the middle finger in between the big toe and the next toe. And then the thumb sits on top of the big toenail. So that's peace fingers. We've got hold of our big toe with those two first fingers and the thumb. And taking a breath in from here, let's start to bring the knees towards straight into quite a deep forward fold, bringing the elbows wide if that feels comfortable for you, while keeping a bend in the knee if that seems absolutely impossible and you're wondering what I'm talking about. Bending the knees, releasing the fingers, releasing the thumbs, easing yourself all the way up to standing, roll those shoulders back and down. Okay, let's have a go at the other side. Let's see if I can remember all that on the other side. Okay, so coming to the top of your mat. We'll come into the Parsvottanasana slightly differently this time because we're not coming from downward facing dog. So rolling the shoulders back and down. We can get our arms ready before we go into it this time. So bringing the hands behind, either grasping those opposite elbows or reverse prayer, if the wrists will allow. Let's step the right foot back again. Just a short stride, we're only doing kind of a half warrior stride. Both legs are straight, let's square the hips with the left leg. If you're finding that it's difficult to square the hips, then move this right foot a little bit further out. Maybe the heels don't have to be in line, make it easy for yourself. Roll the shoulders back and down and lengthen the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, hinging forwards from the hips. Keep the elbows moving away from you. You can see this is the side that I haven't pulled this morning. Keep breathing. And then releasing the hands, keep the legs exactly where they are. Plant that right hand down on the inside of the left foot. Starting to twist to the left, opening the chest to the left. Bring the left fingertips up towards the sky for revolved triangle. Parivriti Trikonasana. Then releasing that left hand down towards the mat. Let's step the right foot to join the left at the top of the mat in a forward fold. Let's bend those knees. Fingertips are on the mat. Firm the right toes, lean into those fingertips. Let's lift the left foot all the way up behind us, straighten the left leg, bending in towards the right leg for standing splits. Good, well done. Releasing that left foot down, bending the knees deeply. We're going to do that mad thing that I've asked you to do once before. We're going to stand on our hands, so we're going to slide the fingertips underneath the feet. Palms are facing up. You will need to bend your knees quite deeply to do this. The toes are coming into the crease of the wrist. We're literally standing on our hands. The backs of the hands are on the mat. Knees are bent. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we can start to bring the legs towards straight. If you don't make it, do not worry. Tuck the head in. We're in Padangusthasana. Bending the knees more deeply than they already were. Let's release the hands, bending the knees deeply, sitting back and down, sweep the arms up, just for a moment in chair as a counterpose to the work that we've done so far. Inhaling, coming all the way up to standing, and exhaling, hands in prayer at the heart. You'll have the longest hamstring that you've ever had after this. Okay, got one more balance for you and a test of the back of that leg. You may want to grab your belt to this, we'll see how we get on. So, come to standing at the top of your mat. Maybe keep that drip, no, leave it there for now, leave it there. Let's see how we get on with this first of all. So, come into stand at the top of the mat, roll the shoulders back and down. Let's spread the toes out on the left foot. Really spread them out and start to take the weight over to that left hand side. Find your gazing point, find your drishti, something to focus on that's not going to move. Take a breath in as you exhale, let's bend the right knee, bringing that leg up into the chest and pointing the toes down towards the mat. We're just standing on one leg, piece of cake. And release that foot down to the mat. Let's spread the toes out on the right foot, shifting the weight over to that right hand side. Take a breath in as we exhale. Let's bend the left knee deeply. Good, point the toes towards the mat. Excellent, what a difference on the two sides. Releasing that foot down. Okay, we're going to go and try and straighten the leg out in front of us this time. So if you know you can do it, if you know that you can bring your knee in and grab those peace fingers around that big toe and bring it towards straight, that's great, let's do that. If we can't, let's do it with the belt. Fabulous. So, if we're doing it with the belt, we're going to bring the weight over into that left foot. You've got your belt ready in both hands, excellent, roll the shoulders back and down, find your gazing point. We're going to bend the knee in deeply as we did before, and then we're going to wrap the belt around, take it into one hand so you can bring your right hand, so you can bring your left hand towards your left hip, or grabbing the toe, excellent, well done Sophie. Take a breath in as we exhale, let's bring that leg towards straight in front of us. Good, well done. Releasing the foot, let it go down towards the mat, and we'll have a go at the other side. So whether you go with your belt or not is entirely your choice, but let's spread the toes out on that right hand side. I know I'm better on this side, so I'm going to chuck my belt to one side for this one. Just for now, let's see if I can do it. Roll the shoulders back and down, take a breath in, bending that left knee deeply. You can bring the right hand to the right hip already. Belt around the foot or grabbing the big toe. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, straighten that leg. Good, well done everybody. Helen, stop swearing. Okay, release the foot, release the leg, bringing it back down. We've got one more. We're going to bring the leg out in front of us, and then we're going to bring it out to the side, so you know what you're up against. Choose your weapons, belts, hands, whatever you want to do. Let's spread the toes out on that left hand side. Really focusing this time strongly. Find your drishti. Don't take your eyes off it. Starting to take the weight over onto that left hand side. We're going to bend the right knee deeply. We're going to get a hold of the toe or the belt. Bring the belt into the right hand, both ends of it. So we can grab the waist with the left hand. Let's straighten that leg. Take a breath in. This is tough now. As you exhale, sweep that leg out to the side. Good. Inhaling, bringing it back into the centre and releasing it all the way down. We all seem to be better on the second side, so let's have a go and see what this one looks like instead. So with your belt or without your belt, entirely your choice. Spread the right toes out. Starting to take the weight over into that side. Let's bring the right hand to the right waist. Take a breath in, roll the shoulders back and down. Let's bend that left knee in deeply. Getting your belt in place, or your toes. Straighten the leg forwards. Don't take your eyes off that gazing point. Take a breath in as you exhale, bringing that leg out to the left hand side. Good. Inhaling back to centre. And exhale, release. Well done. Really well done for persevering with that. Those are really tough poses this morning. So let's bring ourselves to seated now. Let's give ourselves a break. Come in to sit down with the legs straight out in front. Let's bend the right knee, bringing a foot to the floor. And then let's pop that leg over on the other side of the left leg. Keep pulling those left toes up towards you. Lengthening the spine up, pulling that knee in towards you. Let's wrap the left hand, left arm around the right knee, taking the gaze and the right hand behind us, just for a gentle twist. Steady the breath. Feel the torso expand and contract. Reconnect with breath. It's easy to lose track of it when we're balancing. Inhaling back to centre. Releasing that leg off. We're going to do a gentle Paschimottanasana, so we're not too worried about reaching the feet or anything like that. Just make sure both sitting bones are in good contact with the floor. Lengthen the spine up, and as you exhale, just let your hands relax on either side of the legs. Maybe even letting the spine round a little bit. We're doing it consciously, we're not just slumping into the pose. Perhaps even gently closing the eyes. Inhaling, easing yourself up. Let's bend the left knee deeply. I'm going to put the left foot down on the outside of the right leg. Again, lengthen the spine, pull that knee in towards you, wrapping the right arm around and taking the gaze and the left hand behind us. And I know that balances can be tough, they can be frustrating, but one really good thing about them, you're not really thinking about anything else while you're doing them. If you've got any worries, stresses, concerns, they all fall by the wayside when you try to stand on one leg. That's why I like them so much. Inhaling, bringing yourself back to centre. We're going to bring the feet to the floor in front of us with the knees bent. We're going to bring the hands behind. It's up to you whether the fingertips point forwards or maybe it feels better for you to point the fingertips outwards. Roll the shoulders back and down as you take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to lift the hips up for reverse tabletop. Really squeeze the glutes. Letting the head fall backwards only if it feels okay. Inhaling, lowering the hips. We're going to bring the feet together in front of us, soles of the feet together. For Baddha Konasana. So whether your feet are out here or all the way in is entirely your choice. Hips should feel quite good now. Bring the hands to the feet, make sure that the sitting bones are really grounding down as you lengthen the spine, and exhaling, just hinging, not too far into it, just until you feel that point of resistance. Again, perhaps gently closing the eyes. Allowing gravity to do the work for us, and if it's uncomfortable, move the feet further away. And if the feet are so far away that the hands can't reach them, it's not a problem, just rest the hands. Inhaling, gently easing yourself up. Keep the right knee pulled in, let's straighten the left leg. So the sole of the right foot is on the inside of the left thigh. We're going to pull the toes on that left foot up towards us, and we're going to square the torso with that left leg. We're coming into Janusirsasana. So inhaling, let's sweep the arms all the way up. And exhaling, keep the length in the spine as you hinge forwards, hands to the foot, the leg, wherever they reach. Again, thinking chin to shin rather than knee to nose. And once you're there, release the hands down to the floor. Even if you can reach your foot, I want you to release the hands down to the floor so that it's your body rather than your arms that are doing the work to keep you here. Keep breathing in and out. Every exhale, asking any areas of tension to just release a little bit more. Keeping the leg engaged. We are staying here for a couple more breaths. And inhaling, walking the hands in, easing yourself up. Let's bring the feet back into Baddha Konasana one more time. Bound cobbler pose, soles of the feet are together, sitting bones are grounding down, lengthening the spine. And then exhaling, easing yourself forwards. Keeping the length in the spine. Letting the head relax, tucking the chin. Inhaling, easing yourself up. Keep that left knee bent, let's straighten the right leg. Sole of the left foot is on the inside of the right thigh. You might want to pull it in a bit more tightly than it was. Pull those right toes up towards you as we square the torso with that right leg. Inhaling, let's reach the arms all the way up. And take the gaze up as well if it feels okay. And then exhaling, bending deeply into it. And once you're there again, I want you to release the hands to the floor. Keep that right leg active. Keep pulling the kneecap up and the toes towards you. Every exhale, try to relax that left leg. Try to relax the hips and the lower back. Reconnecting again with the breath. And inhaling, walking the hands in, lifting the gaze. Bringing yourself up, let's come to lie down on our backs. Knees are bent, feet are flat to the floor. We're going to lift the hips so that we can bring our hands underneath with the palms facing down. That's the asana fish pose we're coming into again. Let's lengthen the feet away from us, pointing the toes away from us. And then we're going to need to lift the shoulders so we can tuck the elbows underneath us. Excellent, well done. And then allow the crown of the head to fall back towards the mat. So you're in a gentle back bend. Allowing the throat to open. Keep pointing those toes away from you, keep the legs active. And then if it feels okay, take a breath in as you exhale. We're going to hover the feet. Still pointing the toes away, I'm going to hover the feet, perhaps 6 inches off of the mat. Feel the core engage, feel the legs engage. And then release the feet down, release the crown of the head, release the elbows. Again, bringing the knees bent, feet flat to the floor. Let's come back into that twist that we did at the start. So let's lift the hips, shifting them over to the left so we can allow the knees to fall to the right hand side. Bringing the arms wide, gaze wherever is comfortable. You might notice whether it feels easier than at the start. Maybe gently closing the eyes. And bringing your awareness to the breath. Noticing how it moves the torso. Really noticing the ribcage expand and contract. letting go of any tension in the stomach. And gravity holds the legs in place. Shoulders are grounding down into the mat. Gently inhaling the legs back to the centre. Let's lift the hips and shift them over to the right so we can allow the knees to fall to the left. Again, make little adjustments so that you're comfortable here so that the shoulders can both relax down into the mat. Gaze to the ceiling or over the right hand shoulder if it feels nice. And again, noticing how the inhale and the exhale move the rib cage. Feeling the belly soft and relaxed. And the hips and the lower back perhaps moving a little bit easier than they did an hour ago. And inhaling, bringing the knees back up to centre. Exhaling, coming into your version of Shavasana. So perhaps feet are wide, flopping out towards the edges of the mat. Palms face up, with the arms away from the body, to allow them to do that in a comfortable manner. Shoulders relax down into the mat. Make little adjustments so that everything can just relax and let go. And when you're ready, gently closing the eyes, maybe just lowering the gaze. Let everything go. You can let go. Gently now starting to bring your awareness back into the room. Noticing any sounds inside the room. Becoming aware of your surroundings. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe making some little movements with the wrists and the ankles. And if it feels nice, sweeping the arms overhead, taking a really big stretch, perhaps interlacing the fingers, turning the palms away, pointing the toes away. And then bringing the knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around, giving yourself a big hug. And when you're ready, rolling yourselves over onto your right hand side. Easing yourself gently up to seated. Keeping the eyes closed just for a moment. Let's ground the sitting bones down. Spine is long. Just offering a moment of gratitude for whatever the practice has brought you this morning. Even if that gratitude is the fact that it's over. And gently open the eyes. Bring the hand into prayer at the heart. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me this morning.
we getting thanked tomorrow morning?
No. Yeah, it was one of those classes, I know. Good, well, I hope you all feel best for it. Helen, I've got you a bottle.
Oh, is that where I left it?
That's where it is, yes. I kept meaning to message you.
It's a week tomorrow, isn't it?
It is,
keep it for them.
Yeah. But yeah, hope you're all okay. And I think the sun's coming out here. I don't know if it's nice where anybody else is.
Yeah.
Makes a nice change. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll come. Yeah, come over here. Come and see us.
Yeah. Come see us. Come see everybody then.
Oh, hello.
Lucy.
Lucy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Go,
nice.
Lucy.
Nice to finally meet you. Oh, fab. Okay, well, have a lovely day, everybody.
Good to see you.
I'll see you all next week.
I do yoga.